Let's try and speak to someone who's very close to the players, and that is the Chief Executive of the PFA Scotland, Fraser Wishart, joins us live now from our Glasgow studios. Fraser, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Brian.
Fraser, firstly, what did you make of what the administrators said there? The players will be paid this month.
Yeah, and not just the players, Brian. I think I'm very fortunate to have this kind of forum to talk about the players and their trials and tribulations. But Rangers, as a football club, employ the best part of 200 people in staff. And when I was at Murray Park this morning, I saw a lot of people who worked there when I was a Rangers player 20 years ago. So I'm pleased for them as well. It's a good start, and it gives everybody connected with Rangers who want it to continue a chance to actually reassess things and try and help the club through this difficult time.
What was the meeting like at Murray Park this morning?
Well, it was certainly welcomed by the players, and I know football players don't have the best reputation, but I'll tell you, Mr Clark faced a number of interesting questions from the players, but he was very open, very transparent. I think similar to the situation with his press conference, he couldn't answer every question, but the players found it really, really constructive, and they appreciated him taking the time and the open and transparent way in which he took part in the discussions this morning, and we were pleased with the outcome. I think there's going to be a review of the playing staff and their situation, but we asked, along with a number of senior players, to be involved in that review, and we'll see how that goes next week. Our hope is that we can minimise, if not nullify, any redundancies.
What were the players saying to the administrators? What were their biggest concerns, Fraser?
Well, I think some of the concerns were, as were raised there, were to do with why the club's in this kind of state at the moment. And again, Mr Clark is not in a position to answer those questions. I think we have to be fair to him and his company. They are just in the door. They've only had a couple of days to look at the books, so I don't think they can answer these questions at the moment. But I think in the main, the players wanted to know about Saturday. They wanted to know about keeping the squad together as well, and how many redundancies there may or may not be. And he wasn't able to answer any of those questions, but as I said earlier, he was more than happy to involve us in a formal way in terms of the review and the assessment of the playing staff, which is certainly welcome.
After those talks this morning, do you have any confidence, any guidelines, any guidance from the administrators that the playing staff won't be cut? Or, hand on heart, Fraser, are you expecting that to happen?
I think it's really uncertain, Brian. I don't think I'm in a position to comment at the moment. I mean, obviously we have specialist lawyers involved in supporting the players, both in the area of employment and insolvency. So one of the things we'll be asking is to see the likes of the cash flows, the cash flow predictions, where the club sees itself from between now and the end of the season. And if we can help in any way by keeping the squad together, because it's still an important part of a football club to win games. There'll be 50,000 people at Ibrox, some of them paying their way, some of them in season tickets, but they'll be wanting to be entertained. So I think for football fans, and for Rangers fans in particular, it's important to keep as strong a team as possible on the park, and I'm confident we can keep the vast majority of the squad intact.
It is an emotive subject, Fraser, but do you think your members would be willing to take a pay cut? Craig White saying that the bill's going to be paid. Rangers' wage bill reported to be in the region of £2.5 million a month.
Again, it would be wrong of me to speculate, Brian. I mean, I really don't know. I'm not party to the intimate details of the club's finances or the cash flows at the moment, but certainly from the players' point of view, I think they want to stick together. They want to help each other through this tough time. Nobody wants to see redundancies, and I have to say I was struck by their own thoughts and their own the way that they were thinking about the rest of the staff as well, because it's not only about the players, as I said earlier. There's people that work in Murray Park, work in Ibrox on a day-to-day basis, work in Ibrox on a Saturday and a match day as well, and the players were showing concern for their futures as well. So the players will play their part, absolutely. You know, they're a strong bunch, and they've been successful because they've been such a strong and together bunch of players over the last few years, so that will continue.
Just to sum up, Fraser, have any of your members said to you, get me out of here? And in terms of going forwards, how confident are you that promises that have been made in the past will continue to be delivered to your players in the future?
Well, no. Firstly, nobody has contacted me to say they want to leave. I think that would be wrong of the players to do that. I don't think any one of them wants to leave their teammates and desert the ship at the moment. And secondly, I think what we have to do, and there's been a lot of questions about Duff and Phelps and Mr Clark and Mr Whitehouse, we have to acknowledge these are very professional people, and they will not make promises that they cannot keep. And that is something that the players really respected today. There was an openness, there was a transparency, the meetings were constructive, and the players feel that they will play a formal part in the future of Rangers Football Club and how it gets out of this difficult time.
Fraser Wishart, the Chief Executive of the PFA Scotland, thanks so much indeed for your time.